Thanks, Hugo. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome along. Somewhat predictably, the big summer kickoff, heralded by temperatures that are just about limping into double figures, but no matter. These are just details in amongst a very special day of rugby. Bit of a carnival feel to everything here pre-match, but certainly another critical step as we piece together our playoff jigsaw puzzle. Heavy schedules for both these two in the coming weeks, and for Quins, the small matter of Toulouse away next Sunday. So once again, the front row rotated. Finn Baxter and Will Collier returning either side of Jack Walker. This the front row trio that took Bordeaux apart at the scrum. The back five of the pack remains as it was last week at Sale. Back comes Danny Kerr at 9. Twickenham at this stage like a second home to him. And Billy Millard has also brought back Luke Northmore after 2 impressive showings off the bench following injury. That electric back three remain unchanged. Saints boss Phil Dowson has stressed the focus on the domestic job in hand, but in selection, understandably, he has half an eye on Leinster at Croke Park next Saturday. Curtis Langdon rested, as are the 2 locks, Coles and Moon. So up steps Sam Matavesi, Timo Mayana Vanua and young Tom Lockett. Courtney's back this week, the long goodbye, featuring another Twickenham outing, which he hopes will be replicated, of course, on June the 8th for the final. Halfbacks that have been terrorising defences, a revamped midfield with Litchfield and Freeman. They know that a win today will confirm it, but important to note that because of Saracens' victory last night at the Rec, Saints can't nail down the home venue for the last 4 just yet. Lewis Ludlam runs out ahead of his teammates, the captain of Northampton this afternoon, and of course leaving for Toulon these days to savour for each and every player. But as the boys were saying beforehand, the opportunity to run out at Twickenham doesn't come along all that often, Flat, so you really have to make the most of it.
You really do. It's come along rather more often for the likes of Lewis Ludlam, but for lots of these guys, they will get 1 or 2 shots a year in these big games. Saints will be hoped to be back here in a few weeks, of course. But they're big days, massive crowd. Quins do it so well.
Just the latest in a sequence of big matches for Northampton. Saracens, Munster, Bulls, Leicester, they've all been dispatched. And of course they've got this monster fixture next weekend at Croke Park against Leinster. So they're resting a few. Quins have their own matters to attend to. Toulouse away next week in the Champions Cup semi-final. But these 2 weeks really are likely to define the Harlequins season. Men like Marcus Smith, like Joe Marler, like Danny Kerr, they know that lose today and their chances of a Premiership top 4 finish rest in others' hands. The ride they've been on has been wild. They seem to know no other way. But they love it here. They love these days, and they generally enjoy themselves an awful lot after the big walk across the A316 They've lost only 2 of their last 13 games here. Carl Dixon is the man with the whistle, a former Harlequin, no less. So these two have averaged a total of 61 points in their last 10 Premiership meetings per game. So attack is in the blood, the scoreboard likely to be busy, as we've been mentioning, arguably the most attractive sides to watch in the top flight, but this is no beauty contest. Finn Smith for Northampton, taken in by Alex Dombrandt, who battles his way past Lewis Ludlam. And Danny Kerr settles over the first ruck of the afternoon. Himself posing the question in the week as to whether he was the man to have appeared at this stadium more than anybody else. His dad, who seems to know about these things and has marked it all down, reckons this is number 90, which puts him 5 clear, we think, of Ben Youngs. Up goes the box kick from Hare, on a sixpence, taken by Furbank, and immediately to Sam Graham, who's had such a very good season in the back row for Northampton. A little blast from Tom Lockett, the 21-year-old. Finn Smith challenges the line. That looked forwards to me, Liana Vanua, but onwards they go. And Smith puts it through the hands. Freeman playing in the centres today. Mitchell, again, just trying to suck in those defenders, and Laws trying to exploit that 5-metre channel. Ball loose. Harlequins have it. Cunningham South on the ball. Absolute tearaway in that game against Bordeaux, certainly in the first quarter or so.
Go back.
Smith, the inside channel, liners onto it. Any little chink of light is going to be swallowed up here by these sides, you feel. Smith to Esterhazen, to Murley, inside ball for Green, keeps it alive, and Esterhazen's there. Brilliant bit of work from Quins. Murley once again, on to Walker. Saints 22-metre line, Smith. Crossfield he goes, and tearing after it is Luke Northmore. What a start from Quins. Not one stoppage, and yet we have the first try of the afternoon. Pinpoint accuracy from Smith. Brian O'Driscoll's only just taken his seat.
Absolutely brilliant sequence of play. Terrific start from both teams. Controlled from the kick-off from Quins. Good exit play. Then came Northampton Saints, only to turn the ball over deep in their own territory. You think, oh, we'll just settle things down, kick the ball out. Quins were having none of it. Length of the field, and then a pinpoint kick right across to Northmore. Only a second game back after a long period out. Almost a forgotten man, but I'll tell you what, he's announced himself again. An important try last week. Another important try to start this game off.
And we talked about the 2 10s, the 2 Smiths. Well, Marcus Smith, yes, the crossfield kick, wonderful. But he started that on his own 22 with the ball inside, took the ball flat, drew the first defender, put the ball back inside. Led to that initial break. He's driving it all. And the offload from Tyrone Green was an outrage, frankly. Just wonderful. What a start.
Just seeing players in spectacular form, full of confidence, full of belief, Brian.
Yeah, there was a couple of moments as well. Caden Murley, gave the ball and then was a key factor in clearing the ruck as well. Those sort of small moments are huge appreciation from coaches when you go the extra effort just to secure possession or do something small and skillful for the team that then leads to those bigger moments. Here he is, gets knocked off the ball, bang, back on his feet again, and is the key support player, plays scrum half and then secures the ruck to allow Northmore to score in the wide channels.
As we were mentioning, his first start for 6 months, Luke Northmore. They've missed him in his absence. Oscar Beard's been doing a fine job there on the bench today. Will Joseph has been out, but Northmore has come tearing back into exceptional form.
Use it, please.
And
take a step 5.
Danny Wilson, the head coach, also at pains to say just how fit he is now. Not just having shaken off the injury trouble, but he is.
Just make sure you hold.
He's in spectacular nick. Sam Matavesi with the
Not touched.
line-out delivery. Mitchell off on a little excursion, not far. Here's Matavesi again. Curtis Langdon rested this weekend himself. Stellar in the last few weeks. Graham.
Okay, let's
Smith
hold on the
lying deep.
inside. Thanks.
Tyrone Green measuring it up and taking it very, very effectively. He's not a man of great stature, but he is aerially excellent.
Okay, let go, let go, let go. Thanks. Use it now, please.
Ryder chasing, the ball dropping. And it's been won by the Saints on the 10-metre line. Here's a Yogan. Smith's ball with Sam Graham slightly overrunning it, but they found space. They found Ludlam. Brought down well by Murley. Lewis. Oof.
Is that Danny Kerr? That's not fair, is it?
It's looking like it was Danny Kerr. That one, I think, has just been knocked forwards by the single hand of Litchfield, and Quins will sense their opportunity again. Any chance of a counter, they are onto it. But this is a man who knows how to counter-attack as well. Ollie Slightholme to the boot this time.
Go, Tommy, go, Tommy. Oh.
Murley.
Yeah, you're fine.
Shielded by Ram. Murley hunting him down. The offload again. Forwards in this instance.
Yeah, just looking at Courtney Laws, he's still feeling the effects of that big collision. Interested to see the legality of it. Whether he just took a big shot to the chest and winded himself, or whether it was a high shot. There's a bit of head-on-head involved in that.
Okay.
It's big man against small man, but Danny Kerr is very, very upright.
So looking at the actions of Quins 9 in this tackle.
And our TMO is Andrew Jackson.
9 and making the tackle on White 6.
Correct.
Okay, thanks, mate.
Kerr on Laws. Not a circumstance in which you would feel Danny Kerr would want to find himself all that often, but here he is putting everything in the way and potentially not dipping down quite low enough.
We've got a point of contact. So we have got.
It's an interesting one because it's 6-7
Yes,
against
it is,
5-7.
Just show the point of contact, and I think we have the rest of the facts ready. So just make sure we get the head. Yeah, so we have clear head and head, so we do have head contact. It is a high degree of danger, but we have mitigation as he absorbs the tackle and falls backwards. So I don't see it's a yellow card. Yeah, yellow card. Okay.
Yeah.
So we do have head contact. There's a high degree of danger to use the speed, but the mitigation is it's a passive tackle who's always falling backwards, so it goes from red to yellow. Yellow card number 9.
Danny Kerr to the bin.
It's the right call on the basis of the laws, okay? And I can understand there'll be people at home very, very frustrated. You look at the size of Courtney Laws, you look at the size of Danny Kerr. However, it's all around changing behaviours. That hinge of the hips is what we're looking for to future-proof the game. If you go upright and there is head-on-head collision, you know what the sanctions are, and Danny Kerr will realise that he's got to get his tackle technique much lower than that if he's going to avoid the letter of the law.
It is not uncommon for halfbacks to try to stand their ground quite upright. We've seen that a number of times over the years across any number of different teams, Brian. We'll come back to that as Northampton move forwards through Ram, goes to ground, sets up the ruck, and here's Graham looking for a response. And the ball is loose. Quins are scavenging. And they've turned it.
Very, very sharp work on the floor from Jack Walker. Really good defence. But they ain't getting out of here easy, are they?
Marcus Smith is having to play at the base. He's got sucked in to that ruck, and here goes Cunningham South. The power of this man.
That was from practically a standing start into Courtney Laws. There is a lot of power in Chandler Cunningham South, and the aggression to deploy it.
Only his 7th Premiership start, believe it or not. Cunningham South already in England international, of course, having made his debut in the Six Nations.
Halfback, the most deliberate the most intrusive position to lose on the field, because everything goes through them. It's so penalising, and so you're having to lose your out half or your full back into the scrum half position. Debilitating was the word I was looking for there a while ago, but it's such a disaster situation, because your lack of flow, your defensive control, all is affected by it.
And Slightholme has knocked that on. He's going to charge on through, and Tyrone Green will gather it, knowing that the advantage was with them.
Yeah, you think the obvious price you pay is when you're in possession. You don't have a 9 arriving, yes, at set piece, but more pertinently, more difficultly at every breakdown. Someone else has to fill in, and they're not specialists. They won't know the shapes, the movements. Their pass won't be as good. But actually, when you don't have the ball and you're defending, the best scrum halves play such a massive role in kind of telling people where to go and seeing things and screaming. Aaron Smiths, the Jamison Gibson Parks, the Danny Cares, they're constantly yapping, but it's useful.
And the question is, we know so many halfbacks play on the edge now, so if every line out, nearly all halfbacks drop back into that winger position. When they aren't there, is the opposition smart enough to be able to realise that and conjure up a play to be able to take advantage of one man less out in the extremities?
You're almost taking rugby union to NFL levels of prep potentially. It's like, right, have Northampton prepared for a Danny Care-less Harlequins? Have they prepared for that? Because if they have, there will be positions where Danny Care sits every week defensively and covers those gaps. Will we see Finn Smith, Alex Mitchell try and plug those gaps in the next 10 minutes?
So scrum time should be a tasty examination of the Saints front row. Baxter and Collier did such an extraordinary job against the big Bordeaux pack, but it's Northampton who have the shove on here, and they've got the scrum penalty. Terrific effort from the Saints 8, and Manny Eogan is the man who's being celebrated most widely.
Oh, he's over the moon. It's his birthday, look. Fantastic scrum from Manny Eogan on this side. Will Collier, among the very best scrummaging tight heads in the Gallagher Premiership, in Europe, frankly. Really aggressive first scrum. By the way, we talk a lot about the Quins scrum, and rightly so. It's very, very good, but Saints are one of the best teams in Europe on opposition ball. Really aggressive. That was great stuff.
Well, they've set up a golden position here. Some 12 metres out or so, and Courtney Laws is in the thick of things, and this maul looks like trouble for Quins. Cunningham South having a crack at bringing it down. Still it remains upright.
No, stay there. Use it now, please.
Mitchell. Freeman. Nice pick up off his toes by Slightholme, but he's had to gather a couple of Quins defenders into the bargain, and what a job done by Murley and by Northmore. They've held that and held it and held it. And if Saints can't get this out, that is Harlequins' possession on account of that stunning choke tackle.
Yeah, excellent defence from Quins. Really, really impressive. Initially, it was actually a poor quality pass. Slightholme picked it up extremely well. We know how strong he is, but the defence were too sharp from Murley and Northmore getting in there, locking onto the ball and not allowing that all-important knee to touch the ground, and hence the ball turned over. This guy's attack, we all know his capacity to score tries, but my God, he is so good in the loose as well, so good defensively. His work rate is excellent.
And a lot like Ollie Slightholme, actually. He's very, very strong. So you walk past this guy, and he's a big unit. He's packing a lot of heat in there. So when he gets his arms around you like that and lifts you off the deck, there's no way you're hitting the ground. Very, very strong indeed. Really good defence.
This is more solid from the Quins pack. And
just a bit.
Yeah, that might. I was half expecting the arm to go up from Carl Dixon, but the exit is effected.
I think if the ball hadn't been at the back, the arm would have gone up. That's an offended Will Collier, I think, in that scrum, making amends.
Rightly attracted a lot of headlines after that stunning win in Bordeaux a couple of weeks ago. Sam Graham trying to put Northampton on the front foot again. Mitchell sets off Laws. We left that hanging for Mitchell, and he's knocked it on. And it's gone from a scrum to a full penalty here for Harlequins.
Then hold it on.
Just a little bit of inaccuracy from them, just a little bit
I don't know.
out of kilter. Maybe they're desperate to get even on the scoreboard, being a man up, but we saw that poor quality pass that led to the turnover that Slideholm picked up. There's another one that hasn't quite gone to hand. It's quite uncharacteristic of them because we know how good a ball handling team they've been this season.
It was inaccurate, but Alex Mitchell might actually be pleased it was inaccurate because Erne Herbst had it red. He had it red and he had him covered. He was getting smacked if he'd taken that clean, Alex Mitchell, by that big beast.
Looking like lunchtime, wasn't it? Up they go through their skipper, Levis. Harlequins, they've navigated their way out of a hole inside their 22. And they're back in enemy territory. Northmore attacks. Smith at the base, remember, still another 3 minutes or so to play out on the Danny Kerr yellow card.
Secretly thrilled to be able to show his skill set at scrum half.
They all do enjoy it, don't they? Whipped away from the base, Esterhazen on the carry. Big shot from a Jogan.
I think he's planning a box kick now. Heard him shout bomb.
Yeah.
How good are you at box kicking then?
Here we go. Well, it was good hang time. It's just drifted a little bit too long, and something for Marcus Smith to work on.
Come on.
Extras during the week, man.
Come on.
Has to be some frailties in the game. Here he is again.
Okay, hold.
Working it down that touchline.
Much better kick. Turned Mitchell around. He didn't quite
Inside.
land it on ground, but he had to do all the stretching he had in him. But returned with interest as well. A very, very effective kick from Mitchell. Two strong kicks. People playing at the very top of their game. We've seen Alex Mitchell really reveling in this Northampton Saints side this year. Buoyed by the quality he's delivered at England.
Man of the match last weekend against the Tigers. Second half blitz that really took Leicester apart.
It's gone back, all backwards.
Smith again goes as long as he can. Slide home to Furbank.
Stationary, stationary. Gone forward.
Smith again.
Hold on.
Looking lively. Green. Evans. Bouncing off Matavesi. Another penalty as Saints failed
Two tacklers over.
to roll away.
Well, Manny Egan was in there really quick.
He's on the wrong side, affecting
He was
the
on
clear.
that ball so well, but Lewis Ludlam just didn't get out of the way quick enough. It meant that the Quins lads didn't have a chance to get rid of the Jackalers because there was a Saints player in the way.
Yes, points.
And Smith calls for the posts this time. I just wonder if they'll just begin to be a little bit more pragmatism in the way sides are approaching their game flats in the next few weeks, the next couple of weeks. We saw a very tense and intense affair at the Rec last night. A lot of quite cagey kicking, certainly to start with, before it broke open a little bit later on. But the stakes being so high means inevitably there's a tiny contraction, isn't there?
Well,
even with sides that are full of adventure like these two.
You watch when Quins won the title not so long ago. They didn't exactly close ranks towards the end of the season. You don't have to. It is a choice. And I hope they don't, because I like the compelling, the intense ones, but actually the average Quins game, the average Saints game is just more fun. Let's be frank about it. It is. For us lot anyway.
Hard to argue with that. Marcus Smith has got a good connection on that, but it's just wide. And the score remains 5 points to 0.
Okay, when you're ready.
Danny Kerr back on, returning. I believe it's his 18th yellow card of his Premiership career.
Filthy player, isn't he?
Okay,
Cheap shot.
now, let go.
That is a lot, actually.
No,
I mean,
no
he's
wonder he
obviously
played so long, 38.
Here come Harlequins.
3 games off.
Esterhazen at full steam over halfway. Finn Smith bravely in the way, his liner. Wrestled to the ground by James Ram. Here's Baxter. Shown some lovely soft hands in recent weeks, Finn Baxter, together with the scrummaging skills. Walker looked to his right and saw Tyrone Green in the next postcode and sought the comfort of the traffic. Collier. Kerr back with us, and Smith down the middle.
A really good nudge. He got under serious pressure and found the gap between Furbank and Slideholme. It's the space that all teams are leaving open.
Clever from Green. And potentially liking the look of what's in front of him. Held just inside his own half.
Ball's there, it's available.
Cunningham South. Smith, little delay. Esterhazy. Northmore. Ram doing his level best to make a mess of that ruck. Evans, little tip on for Dombrandt, and that leg drive gets him through the gain line. Here's Collier from a standing start again. Herbst, just a little on the one-off side here from Quins. Not a huge amount of purchase beyond the ruck, so to the boot goes Kerr. Little dab forwards this time, and Furbank reads it well. Smith opens it up. Mitchell goes wide.
That could have been forward.
On they go. Slideholme's onto it. They won't catch him. Beautifully weighted kick. And this man is in red-hot form right now. Northampton strike back, and the league's leading try scorer adds another to his tally.
Brilliantly taken by Ollie Slideholme and Northampton Saints. Litchfield working wonders down the left. But you know what? Danny Kerr's back on. Quins up to 15, and they've lost their shape. The attack was one out. It was limp. The kick didn't really offer any threat. Absolute meat and drink to Northampton Saints, a loose kick like that. Got to do better of Quins, because when you make a mistake and you get loose and you lose your shape against Saints, this is what happens. Ollie Slideholme is what happens.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty
it's all good
average kick from Danny Kerr. I don't think he's on the same page as his teammates, that they're all expecting some sort of lofty box kick. It's a little chip over the top, and you don't need to invite Northampton Saints the second time to strike from deep in their own territory. This is the last pass. I don't know if that's the angle that is going to help to see. I tell you what, I would not be happy if I was a Quins fan, and we're hearing it here.
Well, so far
it's not been called back.
No, nothing from the officials at the moment. So
if you are not a Northampton Saints fan, that is a forward pass.
When you're ready.
Well, they got away with it. Let's focus on the positive, which was a really delicate little kick over the top
kick.
From Litchfield, wasn't it? Off his left boot.
Scrum advantage.
It sat beautifully for Slideholme, who now moves up to 11 on the try-scoring front in the Premiership this season. And don't forget, his season only began in November. He was injured for the early part of the campaign.
Advantage over.
Tester for Green. Ram gets in there.
Back off White, play on, back off White.
And it's with Laws and Eogan. Ludlam.
Clear release.
No release, and Mitchell looking to go.
Clear release, bind and break. Points. Points. Everybody.
Once again, they want the points.
Yeah, Dombrandt was the guilty party. It's just not a clear enough release. He might have felt as though he slipped off the collision to then get back down into that jackal position. From an optic point of view, with the referee as he came in there wasn't enough separation between the collision and then reattaching himself. Hence the penalty.
I tell you what, it's a tight one, that. It looked tight to me, but I do...
I only saw the breakdown, that's it, I didn't see anything else.
I do think if you're going to go in a 50-50 situation like that, I think going with the attack is the way to go, actually. I don't disagree with it, but it was tight.
Finn Smith then with a kicking percentage this season of 77% across all competitions. From a good 46 metres out or so, makes no mistake. And Northampton move into double figures.
It's just effectively whether or not Alex Dombrand allows daylight to appear between him and Lewis Lundland before he makes an attempt at the jackal. No, he doesn't.
That's the left arm, isn't it?
Yeah, left arm. Wasn't close at all. If you're talking about Brian, easy call.
Furbank. And a great chase from Caden Murley. Quins putting a whole heap of pressure on here. Mitchell to a Yogan. Green and Smith in the backfield.
Yeah, you're inside, yeah.
An excellent touch found.
So I've done really well to get out there. It's a really good kick. Rescued that really well, because if you're Caden Murley and you've got, was it Furbank that took that kick? He's retreating, he's running back towards his own post to take it. He can't get out of your way. It's like Christmas Day to someone like him. Saints smack backwards, done really well to exit there.
Walker to Herbst, to Care, nice and swift, and Smith to Esterhazen, who clings on. Finn Smith making an excellent tackle. Care, Smith again, swing of the hips. In comes Ludlam. Baxter. Not too far away from slipping the net. Smith to Green, out of the back. Another fine tackle made by Northampton. Herbst to Dombrand. Off the deck it comes to Care. Gets it away. Levis smuggles it back to Esterhazen. This is where they're so dangerous, flooding the channels with quick ball. Dombrand again on that inside channel from Baxter. The handling spectacular at this point. Cunningham South. Flattened by Ludlam.
What a
big
tackle.
Impact.
What a tackle.
I can't allow him to jackal if you're on the wrong side.
So the tackle was excellent. The getting out of the way, less so.
Jackler.
I think on the first phase I was just interested to watch Finn Smith. This isn't an enormous moment. There's a lot happening at the line, decisions to make. Finn Smith makes a really good read. All right, he doesn't actually put Esterhazen deck, but he hits him hard. Reads it well. That was well enough defended. It's just you look at those bits and pieces. With guys like Finn Smith, what we talk about is game management, attack 99% of the time, and fine, rightly so, but there are bits and pieces defensively they have to put together, like, it has to be said, Owen Farrell does pretty much every week. Smart defence, good commitment, enjoyed that.
Yeah, just worth keeping an eye out for that little pop pass off the first ball receiver from 9 back inside. It's something that they struggled against Sale last week with, and it's definitely an analytical piece throughout the week where that second defender off guard is slow off the line, and as a result there's a bit of a dog leg. Watch out.
Here they come, straight through the middle. Northmore again, tearing a hole in the Northampton defence. A stunning line, and Quins fans back on their feet.
A few weeks ago, Brian, you and I sat off camera and said, hey, how about Luke Northmore? How's he doing? He came off the bench, he was fantastic. Then he did it again, and now he's doing this. What a line. Big bloke running a hard line. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's all a little bit easy, but you have to give huge credit to the quality and deception of everybody running their lines, which creates the space to load the same defender inside and out. It creates uncertainty in that 13 channel, a place that you're trying to see the front line runners but also see what's going out the back. And on this occasion, Northmore takes full advantage. All eyes are on Esterhazen. This time they miss him. Northmore, who's a big man himself, powers in with a great line. And his second try of the match. What a return.
Just having been speaking about Finn Smith's defence, who is it there? Is it the 10 that's got to take him coming into that channel?
It's such a difficult one because so much respect has to be given to Esterhuizen. But
Why would you say that? Why would you say that now?
Just a little bit less respect right there.
Well, an extraordinary happening. You don't see that very often from Andre Esterhuizen off the restart, and it's given Saints a terrific platform in the 22. But the lead once more changing hands. Quins back in front. Long old way to play out. And just remember the chaos that has reigned through Quins' matches in recent weeks. The Bath game, they led by 40 points to 3 before squeaking it by 4 points, surrendering 36 unanswered. Glasgow, they led 21-7, trailed 24-21 and came through to win it. Here comes Sam Graham from the base for Northampton, pressing hard, and 1 or 2 holes opening up. Here's the big man, Mayana Vanua of Fiji, whipped away. Numbers here for Northampton. The ball on the deck, but how?
Hold it. Listen.
The potential of a stray Quins' hand.
All I've seen is the hand go out and the ball go down. Did you see it go forward, or does it go as it was?
I have 2 hands as well.
Okay, so do you think he's genuinely trying to catch the ball? Okay. Jacko, we're going to have a look, just because we're not sure on field. At the moment, all I've got is a knock-on, because I've seen him go and the ball sort of go down in front of him.
Yeah, we'll take a look.
Okay.
Oh, that's one hand.
So first thing is, does the ball even go forward?
That is a stone-cold yellow card, but will there be anything else?
And only Tyrone Green to his right, I believe.
First and foremost.
Yeah, we'll get you best angle for that.
Thanks, mate.
That's a yellow.
I don't think they're going to be able to give the penalty try because Tyrone Green could make the tackle, but it's going to be a yellow card for Lewis Lana.
Yeah, the ball does go forward, Carl.
So the ball goes forward. Is he in a genuine position to retake the ball? Do we think he is? Jonathan? No, he thinks. Do we think he's in a genuine position to take the ball down low as he just took an arm out to stop the pass? Take the pass. So if he's not in a good position to retake the ball, it's got to be a yellow card, but it can't be a penalty try because there's a player right there. So it's number 14, is it, Lewis?
Second sin binning of the afternoon for Quins. Lewis Liner this time. Takes 10 minutes out.
I mean, the ball actually was over the top to Slightholme, who was free. It was there.
It's actually a pretty butchered opportunity.
Yeah.
Kick pass or long pass, and they were walking in. They'll be kicking themselves in huge numbers over.
I mean, look at
It's actually
Furbank
Furbank.
and Slightholme out there. I mean, it's worked out well for Saints, sure, it has. No doubt on the yellow card for Liner. You'd imagine Furbank and Slightholme will be communicating that to Finn Smith.
Finn Smith with 3, which takes him to the top of the Premiership point-scoring charts. And it takes Northampton Saints back in front by a point and looking to exploit that extra man over the next 10 minutes.
No rush for Quins, walking back to take this kick off very, very slowly.
Let's have a word with Nick Evans, who's the attack coach with Quins, of course. Nick, your assessment of the opening half hour or so?
Yeah, look, I think obviously goes without saying the 2 yellow cards are going to hurt us. You know, that one there, I mean, cheapest. I'm going to put my, obviously, Quins hat on there, but yeah, look, I think it's been pretty evenly poised. I mean, we've probably been a little bit short in defence at the times, and we've probably given them a few opportunities to get over our ball a little bit, but a couple of opportunities that we have taken. We started fast, obviously, and got a good set-piece try, so a good plan during the week that worked well there, and just got to ride out these next kind of this 10-minute and get into the half time.
A word on Luke Northmore. Hasn't played a lot of rugby recently. His first start in 6 months. 2 storming tries. He's come back in some nick, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been itching to get back out there. Adds a bit of physicality and directness to our game, and yeah, no, he's certainly taken his opportunities when he's had them.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time, Nick. Appreciate it. Northmore on the ball once again, setting up this field position, and Quins with another penalty, well within range.
Such a silly penalty to give away by Graham. Now, his only argument could be that he was pinned in there, but it didn't look as though he was. Flopped down and just held on to the ball for far too long. Again, it wasn't too penetrative a play. He's clearly off his feet, lying on the player, stopping the ball from coming back.
It's actually a mad moment, that, isn't it? It's a mad moment, that. I tell you what, Alex Dombrandt has carried a few times in this game, and he's really clattering into contact. He's fabulous when he hits gaps, but actually when he's taken the ball into the likes of Ludlam, the likes of Mayana Vanua, he's looked really, really strong so far.
Some kick that from Smith. He's put them within 5-6 metres, crucially.
Oh, what a kick.
We all know what a difference it makes. Metre by metre, that close out, your chances improve astronomically. So an important moment this for Jack Walker and for Quins and their fans roaring their side on. Ernie Herbst has possession. A good counter drive from Northampton as Harlequins look to set it.
It is good for Northampton, but you don't want the Northampton players coming up either side. It weakens them through the middle. We're away.
Fired away for Stefan Levis. Fine tackle made by Ludlam. Kerr clapping. He wants it fast. He wants it faster. Baxter on the ball. Kerr again. Evans, lovely little tip on for Dombrandt. Lays it up. Pops it off the deck. Still they pour forwards. Northampton wrapping bodies all around.
Ball's here, let go. 6.
Inch by inch. Cunningham South now. Denied at the line.
Make sure hands are feet behind.
Dombrandt. Another white wall in front of him.
Decent numbers. They should be trying to look at moving it out to Smith. Use his footwork. Green is outside him. Player out in the extremity too.
Still they take it tight. Jack Walker is close. And then they have it. Stefan Levis rises last and claims the score. Quins with 3.
And I tell you what, it needed scoring because Stricko's right. Quins had big numbers out. Ollie Slightholme was praying for that ball not to come out there. Stefan Levis got the job done. The team from which we're used to seeing so much artistry. I thought it was a really good tackle, that from James Ram. At full speed, that was a hard tackle to make because Dombrandt was flying, but he keeps the ball alive. And in the end, it's the artist applying a bit of brute force to get over the line.
Well, you wondered for how long they would continue to go through the heavies, but they got the job done eventually, and the skipper with his first try of this season. $19 points to 13, and just as precious, Quins have done it down a man.
Yeah, it makes that Graham penalty all the more frustrating because that was the thing that gave them the platform to kick right into the corner, hold possession down in the 22 and through multi-phase, eventually getting over the line. Sort of stuff shooting yourself in the foot.
Esterhuizen making no mistake this time and then battering his way through James Ram.
Okay, take him back in. Use it now, please.
Up went Murley. I think that's probably come off Murley. Interesting to see which way
Unsure.
possession's going to land here.
What do you think? Go white ball. Go white ball. We'll go. Okay, Quins
Some
ball in.
debate as to who touched that last.
Okay. Touch judge is saying Quins ball. They are saying Quins ball. That's right. Use the line,
Interesting.
Yes,
50-50, give it to the home
Thank
team.
you. Confirm by Timo.
Off Furbank's hand.
Herbst seizes it from in front of Lockett. Smith, lots of time. Furbank. Matavesi to Ludlam. Good power through the hole. Smith to Laws this time. Graham, Smith, Freeman. Furbank accelerates. Lovely bit of work this from Saints. Wide they go. Ram screaming down that touchline and so close. Mitchell now. Matavesi with the tip on, and the ball is stolen by Harlequins. Right at the death. They seemed in all kinds of bother. Smith might still be. Still thinking about the counter-attack. Before the whistle is blown and the knock-on is called for by Carl Dixon. Some crazy stuff, but it seemed harder not to score for Northampton here.
Saints sorted in the end. Have a look at this for a high kick drill. You look how quickly Saints are back in position. This is what launches it. They're actually reset before Quins are. They've got all that way to chase back to cover the high kick. Furbank takes it brilliantly. They were just so quickly realigned.
Just wonder, did Furbank throw the miss pass when he should have gone to the closer
I
man?
think it's a really good competition.
He threw it right to the width, and immediately that allows the defence to drift right off. If he goes to either the other two players slide home, perhaps, but immediately means that the defence is able to corner flag and scramble much easier, rather than if you go to second last defender, they have to respect an additional pass, slows the defence up. Maybe that's the opportunity to score.
A good bit of work from Green, actually, wasn't it, to get back in the eye line, get back in the passing channel, and just to make that a difficult decision for George Furbank to have to make.
He's again another player, Tyrone Green. I mean, what we talk about almost all the time is his attack, because it's fantastic, and his footwork and his power, but defensively he's wise and he's brave and he's good in the air.
Use it, please.
Esterhazen from his own try line. He's taken it almost to the 22. Goodness, I'm not sure how they're going to manage without him next season. He's going to leave an almighty hole.
And then you got
midfield.
Then you got Chandler Cunningham South next.
Baxter tucks and drives.
Okay, use it now, please. Ball is out.
A wonderful touch finder from Kerr. Not long to go for Lewis Liner, heading to play his rugby in Italy next season with Benetton. Matavesi to Lockett on a plate for Mitchell. Here's Ludlam up the middle, brought down by Evans. Litchfield, Smith, slight home. Just throwing all kinds of shapes and patterns at this Quins defence, and the spaces just begin to open up. Really important tackle that from Levis. Here's Iogan. Furbank, little tip on from Freeman. Ram frees up the big man, Laws. Courtney Laws denied. 4 metres out. They retain the ball. Matavesi. Can Harlequins hang on here? The yellow card has elapsed, but Liner can make no impact from here. Mitchell, Furbank. Oh, just inches from the try line there. Squeezes the ball back. Smith, and the intercept, and the offside line.
The change of angle from George Furbank was brilliant, wasn't it? You thought, well, he's through. But because the lad's tackling, or at least one of the lads tackling, was about 4 stone heavier, they can just hold him up like a naughty toddler.
Wait, we've got 2 balls.
Brilliant launch from Northampton Saints.
Time off. Sorry.
We have a little breather. Time off. I think referee Carl Dixon wants as much of a breath as everybody else out there.
Okay, yeah, okay, no problem. Time is off. Send him on.
But beautiful ball handling, really good from Furbank initially. Was it Murley read in, but he could see it coming. He just thought the 35-year-old wheels were going to have enough to get in.
Which way are you going to go? So
Quins' defence managed to get back and didn't panic. They didn't honeypot. They didn't go into the ruck. They ran back to the defensive line. We were there to be able to make 2-man tackles. That's a big shot on Furbank.
Big Courts put the afterburners on, didn't he?
Once I blow my whistle, then we can start again.
Thought it was going to be another glorious moment at Twickenham for Courtney Laws for a minute there. Arguably, I think he realised he could have got there just a tiny bit too late.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
Those first couple of paces were not suggestive of a man who was going to race his way into the corner. But then he realised it was a possibility, and maybe it still is here for Northampton. Graham reaches out. What an important score that is for Saints. Sam Graham with their second.
It's actually really well done by Sam Graham. He's carried really well so far. I think it was Will Evans came shooting in low, and actually first carry's decent, but it's dealt with. You watch Will Evans fly in here. He actually forces Sam Graham back inside, so Will Evans actually cuts off Erne Herbst, cuts off his teammate from making a tackle, so it goes from 2 men to no men making that shot. Good just awareness, good body control from Sam Graham, considering his size.
I'm watching the replay right now. Just hold.
Just
we're going to just need to check this, Cole.
For a potential knock-on, which will cheer the many Harlequins supporters in the stadium here.
The last breakdown and whether it was knocked on or not.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, mate. Look at the last breakdown. So where there's a knock-on.
Now, is that Walker's foot?
I thought it came off someone's boot. We'll see here, I think, better. I think that's off a boot.
All you need to know, Jack, does the 9 take possession of the ball?
I don't think he has possession.
Does it go forward, or is it the foot that drags it forward?
I don't think he's in possession, is he?
No.
So this is really tight, so you're going to have to help me here. For me, it's whether the foot drags the ball forward or the 9 takes possession and knocks it on as he moves his foot forward.
So for me, Cole, that comes off the 9's hands.
Okay, so it comes off the 9's hands. So it's no try, and that will be time up. Can I just clarify that?
I don't think you can call that being in possession of the ball.
I agree.
The knock-on occurred when time had gone.
Correct.
Okay.
His hand is on the ball, but actually
No try.
it doesn't. The motion isn't forward from his hand.
At no stage did he have 2 hands on the ball, Graham.
No. Correct. I think that's a very, very tough call, and smiles from Mitchell, but he'll feel very frustrated.
Well, they're understandably confused and hugely disappointed, Northampton, having worked their way into that position right on the stroke of half-time. A big swing, potentially. Quins lead Northampton in the big summer kick-off at the break by 19 points to 13. Thank you, Hugo. Delicately poised, I think you'd call this. And let's not forget the second half that Northampton had against Leicester last week. They were trailing by 4, and they blew them away with 5 tries in the second period. Quins know there will be an onslaught of some kind coming, and Lewis Ludlam will look to be at the heart of that. But as we so often say, at this stage in the season, it'll come down to who wants it more, who needs it more, arguably. Certainly, Harlequins are in that bracket. They know they need the victory here, otherwise their fate will be up to others as far as the top 4 is concerned. Saints will have had to park that disappointment as well. The Sam Graham try that wasn't right at the end of that first half might just be lingering in their minds a little bit. Mitchell's clearance huge, taking them beyond halfway. Such a key influencer now, isn't he? Somebody who's grown so much over the last year or so. The capacity to actually influence games at international level has just seen him blossom at the club game as well, Brian.
Yeah, and different parts to his game have really evolved too. Obviously, we know about his attacking capacity, but it's his defensive organisation, his kick game, as we've just seen there, have really come to the fore, and the confidence of being #1 international 9 really adds value to your overall confidence levels.
Tyrone Green setting it up here. Danny Kerr for Marcus Smith and Baxter. Herbst is the dummy runner. Collier the provider this time, and man of the moment, Northmore. 2 tries. What a lovely pick-up from Ram that was.
Oh, no.
Not so much the kick.
Oh, no. Let's just edit out the kick and show the pickup. The pickup was amazing. Oh, don't show the kick.
And cut. Yeah, it was unfortunate. Not the easiest to gather.
I think they're one of the teams that haven't had a 50-22 over the course of the season. Exhibit A, perhaps why.
Cutting south, launching himself to gather the line-out ball. Another little tip onto Dombrandt, who is proving very effective on the carry, as ever. Walker, Esterhazen, Cunningham south. Big tackle coming in from Tom Lockett. Quins on the front foot, and Smith exploiting the gaps. Green with the step, rolling onwards inside the 22, still tumbling forwards. Little drive from Evans. Liner hugging this right-hand touchline. Instead, it's with Esterhazen. To the left they go again. Northampton struggling to contain them at the moment. Dombrandt to ground. Murley now. Wrapped up by Davison.
On the ball.
Evans again. Just keeping that centre of gravity so low. In comes Mayana Vanua. And Northampton win the decision.
I think it's a good call. I kind of initially thought he's done really well. He's bought his team an extra yard. Initially came from that really good launch play. We've seen Dombrandt carrying so well today. And then Marcus Smith doing what he does so well, challenging defences, goes outside to come back inside. Tyrone Green, his meters over the course of the season have been so important, but eventually just coughing it up. I think the referee got it right on that occasion.
Vanua lifted highest, part of the Fijian side that beat England here last August, but this time the ball has gone forwards and 1 or 2 errors creeping into the game.
Just look back to that Marcus Smith little outside break where he dragged that man, Timo Mayana Vanua, just dragged him out and put it back inside to Tyrone Green. It kind of looks like normal Gallagher Premiership level fly half stuff, but it's just a little bit, at full speed, there's just a little bit of acceleration towards the outside shoulder. He goes here, and you've really properly got to cover him because he's got such good acceleration that he created space. He wasn't just running on a drift, he goes a bit, just a couple of steps. And Mayana Vanua is a very good defender, but he's 18, 19 stone. He's terrified of getting gas, so he commits those little bits that create space.
Another big shove from the Quins pack. Oh dear, that's trouble potentially for Northampton. Playing with a scrum penalty here. Advantage, but then the blast on the whistle. And
never mind, far side.
Anxious moments here, Flats, for Saints supporters.
Iagan on this side wants to go outside Collier. No, no, no. Not the way to do it. The penalty's given on the far side, sure.
Just use the 15.
We like Manny Iagan a lot, really promising young loosehead. Yeah. When you come up against the best guys, and Will Collier is one of the best guys, you cannot separate from your hooker and step around the outside because he will have you on toast. The best guys will dish you up, which is exactly what happened.
We had that early success, didn't he, against Will Collier. Since then,
oh yeah,
it seems and the thing Collier's turned the tables.
And Manny Egan is absolutely strong enough to stay in there and take the heat. He's absolutely strong enough. Really, that's technical, it's concentration. He's got the power. But that time went the wrong way.
Harlequins hunting a try bonus. Evans, Kerr, Esterhazen. Quickly for the 9. Donbrandt, shove the ball inside, drives to the 5-metre line. Kerr again, fires it out. Smith, tip-on, Murley, glorious. That is high class. Quins have the bonus points. Caden Murley touches down. And when Quins play at that kind of lightning speed, they're very hard to handle.
Oh, there's so much to enjoy from this sequence of play. You could pick out a number of different moments. We'll talk about the quality of Danny Kerr's pass, putting the ball out in front of Marcus Witt at the very end, but it starts from the launch play, and that big man, Andre the Giant, carrying over the advance line. Really quick ruck ball. A little bit of deception, they don't go back inside, but again, 1-2 second ruck. The ball out in front of Marcus Witt, invites him onto it, and then the acceleration from that creep roll in behind Smith comes Caden Murley in around on the arc. The defence don't see him. Beautiful score.
And I tell you what, that hard line run by Ernie Herbs sucked in a couple of defenders, just narrowed Saints up, drew their eyes a bit. There's a line coming up here from Ernie Herbs, and he's so big, you've got to cover him. Just telepathic. Beautiful.
Well, both these sides have that capacity, don't they? The chemistry's so strong. And the hours and hours on the training ground really come to the fore when they move into the 22, ball in hand. They can be absolutely lethal. And Quins opening up a 13-point advantage. We'll give you an idea as to what sort of impact that's had on the table. There they are, into 4th place as it stands, if they go on to win this here with all 5 points banked. And the Tigers are leading Bristol by 7 points to 0 at Welford Road in the other game in the Gallagher Premiership this afternoon. Smith.
He just didn't get hold of it. He's been lucky because the ball's bounced over Finn Smith, but you could see what Marcus Smith was trying to do, drive the ball into the ground, but didn't quite get the purchase he was looking for.
Slightholme, eyes up, Green hurtling forward. Slightholme did well, sets off, straightening nicely. Davison on the carry. We'll have a word with Alex Waller in a short moment or two. Part of the Northampton Saints set up for so long, of course. What handling that? Here's Slightholme, accelerating hard towards the 22. Excellent tackle from Smith. But Saints are poised. And Courtney Laws is feeding Manny Eogan. Slightholme taking just a little while to get to his feet, not terribly steady. Lockett, meantime, bustles forwards. Mitchell scragged early. Finn Smith has to burrow in there and fish it out for Furbank. And now a little bit of space for James Ram to skip clear. Wonderful opportunism from Northampton. Worked their way into the 22. They were patient. And ultimately the power and the strength of the big Australian winger.
And I tell you what, well, the initial break, the handling was fantastic, wasn't it? From Courtney Laws, et al. Slightholme did well. There were people behind us in the crowd screaming for him to pass it inside. The pass wasn't on, it was blocked. This was nicely done. Furbank just got to that outside defender. Meant he drew 2. Looked simple enough for James Ram, and it was, in effect. But actually, the line was clever, and the acceleration was fantastic.
Yeah, he just interested the second defender, didn't he? I don't know, was it Northmore? Just got sucked in unnecessarily. They were reasonably well numbered up, but that little hitch kick from Furbank drew in the defence, and that's what created the space for Ram.
So it looks like 1 or 2 changes being made, some of them potentially enforced. Let's have a word with Alex Waller. Alex, what are you making of things here? Obviously the Ram try changes the picture of things. not a moment too soon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's when we put our game on the pitch, which we've done in spells, not quite as consistently as we liked. I think you see what happens, and that's what we just did there with that try from Rami. So fair play to Quins. It's a hell of a game at the moment. A bit frustrating. We like to be putting our game a little bit more on the pitch and imposing on them, but you know, still a long half to go.
Without divulging too many trade secrets, what was the much of the chat surrounding at half-time?
Oh, just that. I think when we did us and played our game, you know, we saw we probably butchered 3 opportunities there in the first half that went amiss. So the chat at half-time was essentially, let's do us, and I think we're starting to do that now. It's just starting to hopefully turn. That try there was pretty much us, so we just need to keep doing that. It's a few bits to tidy up, set piece and in the open as well, but plenty to go up. Yeah. Long half left.
Can we talk scrums briefly, seeing as we're about to see? I know this is your specialist subject. Early success for Manny Iogan in that first scrummage. Since then, it looks as if Will Collier might just have begun to get the edge. Is that your read of things?
Not necessarily. It was hard for me to see that first half, so I didn't really see much of Manny's side.
Chasing through is Murley, just a little bit out of reach this time. Sorry, Alex, stop you full throw. What's your reading of the set-piece scrum?
I think it's a good battle at the moment. I think, yeah, like you saw, Manny got and Trev got the nudge on that first one, and I think Quins have adapted pretty well. So it's an ever long battle with scrums. So Manny and Collier has been a hell of a battle so far. I couldn't see the first half, like I said, on the other side, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on, but that last one there looked pretty square. I think Manny just got the edge, but the ball was out already. So, but you know, I'm biased to Northampton. So,
thanks for your time, Alex. We'd expect nothing less.
Cheers.
Good luck next weekend. I'm sure you'll be involved in the Champions Cup semi-final at Croke Park. 82,000 or so ready to watch the 4 times champions Leinster take on the Gallagher Premiership leaders. What a thunderous contest that is going to be. Next Saturday it'll be live on TNT Sports, remember. And of course Harlequins away to Toulouse on the Sunday. In comes Ram and deals with that aerial threat. Mitchell to Smith. And first sight, meaningfully, of Fraser Dingwall. He's come onto the field with Slightholme having to make way. Tyrone Green calls for the mark.
Yeah, really good coverage from the fullback. He knew exactly what he was doing. He almost offered the corner to Finn Smith, but then when he went to it, he accelerated onto the ball, and it was a comfortable take for him in the 22. Just calmed things down.
Inside.
Not his finest kick, but an opportunity for his pack to take a bit of a breather and reset.
Yeah, Ali, you can't ask Alex Waller to criticise his own loose-end mate, his own competition.
Well, I was hoping that the question was open-ended enough.
Oh, I couldn't see his side. Yeah, well played, Alex, well played.
Courtney Laws
Sack's good.
leaps up. We're learning that Ollie Hassel-Collins has scored a second try for Tigers against Bristol at Welford Road. Hope to bring you that shortly as Northampton flood those channels, and Augustus tries to link up and finds only Dombrandt. Now then, what might be possible on the counter here? Green to the boot. Murley struggling to find a way through. Mitchell gathers. Smith, numbers to the right here for Northampton. Furbank accelerates.
I'm going to check for more. Hold now, that's 15, isn't it?
And it is loose, loose, loose.
Oh, we're talking about Alex Mitchell earlier on.
That's going to be a yellow card.
Scrags the ball on the ground, but he just makes something happen from nothing. Okay, they turn over possession very frustratingly. But it's just those small little things, not dying in possession, getting the ball away, and we wondered, did Dombrandt give a little call for the pop ball from the opposition?
And then we'll see. Thanks, mate.
And Alex Mitchell got back so well to cover that defensive ball. Picked up the ball running back. Fantastic D here.
Okay, so there's Quins play at the back and there's 2 coming across, so no penalty try. So just have a...
What's your take, Brian?
Oh, that's a yellow card.
Coming around the back, 2 players.
It's a totally unnatural position. for a player to make a tackle, then you don't slap your arm in like that. You brace yourself for a shoulder collision. Put your shoulder in a strong spot. You don't go and swipe with your arm like that. I think referees have been around too long to fall for that sort of thing, thankfully, and absolute yellow card. But also correct decision that it's not a penalty try, because there is a chance those defenders do get there.
And he knew, didn't he?
He knew.
He knew.
On comes Joe Marler and Simon Kerrod, replacing Will Collier and Finn Baxter. And Quins down to 14 for the third time this afternoon, making life hard for themselves here. And with only a 6-point buffer. Little tip on, that's gone forwards from Saints and then from Quins.
I mean, if you're going to make a team pay for their third yellow card in under an hour, you'd hope a bit of fatigue. You want to keep hold of that ball, stretch them, stretch the numbers. This is just a gift to Quins. It's exactly what Quins want. 15 out from their own line, man down, everyone doing extra work because of the lads getting yellows.
Well, they managed the last yellow card period very effectively, didn't they? Lewis Liner's time off the pitch yielded the Stefan Levy score.
We kind of both were just too low and we've gone down. That's
They've got to try and do that all over again here against a side who are just chock full of confidence in Saints. Mention all those huge matches that they've come through. Sarries, Munster, Bulls, Leicester, all in a row.
Here's our mark. Time back on.
So let's have a little look at the second Ollie Hassel-Collins try.
Let's go, lads, let's go.
Leicester Tigers up against the Bristol Bears at Welford Road this afternoon, and into the corner he goes. Tigers leading by 12. Some 50-odd minutes gone in that one.
Bind.
There's the table as it is. Harlequins with more scrum success. Esterhazen with more gain line success. Marler flying forwards, first carry.
Okay, use it, please. Okay, use it now, please. Danny.
Danny Kerr doing the necessary as we head towards that final quarter.
Yeah, we were lucky to get a little masterclass in the rugby roundup last week from Danny Kerr. Exactly what he's looking for from his pack. It's an 8-man job to make sure that you're able to box kick with success to safety. Done very effectively there.
Mitchell to Dingwall. And Mitchell again, just fizzing around the edge of the ruck, and Augustus is adding power and presence. They've got a knock-on advantage here, Saints. Eogan picks up, here's Ludlam. Hit on the gain line, no benefit as yet.
Okay, balls available. Still knock-on advantage.
From that advantage. Finsmith.
Okay, advantage over.
Dingwall gets it away, Furbank did well. Freeman on the outside. Looking to bustle his way forwards, but Northmore is there to cut him down. Enjoying an excellent game, both sides of the ball. Luke Northmore. Augustus, very industrious, sprung from the bench. Furbank at first receiver, Laws with the footwork. Tackle made by Evans. Hard yards these for Northampton. Finsmith to the boot, and probably not entirely what he was after.
Wouldn't have thought that was in any way what he was after. It didn't put a lot of pressure on.
That was known as the Scotty Johnson back in the day. The old Welsh coach apparently was renowned for the 5-yard gains. Anytime you used to have a hack like that, Ron O'Gara would call opposite you and go, "Nice one, Scotty!"
It's handed possession back to Quins on the 22, and Cunningham South makes sure that the line out is well run.
Outside, take him back in. No, okay.
Freeman, Furbank, Ram, all stationed waiting for the kick. In comes Freeman. Liner got a hand on that, and Northmore pops it up to Don Brandt. Here's Murley, a little isolated that time, and secured the ball just about. Running out of numbers on that left flank. Northmore does well to keep it infield.
No, nothing.
Oh, what a shot. That's some clear out from Herbst. Oh, he's hurt Ludlam as well.
I tell you what, Ernie Herbst have been steaming into some of these breakdowns today.
He's in a lot of pain. Lewis Ludlam, top right of your screen.
It's not good.
Doesn't look good at all. Furbank, keen to launch from deep. Freeman will challenge Cunningham South on the outside. Combination of him and Liner made sure that was a short adventure. Davison and Iogan feeding Furbank again. Playing with 14 themselves here, Saints, with their skipper down. Mitchell to Mayana Vanua. Lockett, Smith in behind Fraser Dingwall, and he's got to deal with Lewis Liner into the bargain.
Saints did so well there. No. Outside backs, just buying time again.
Murley, Marcus Smith calling for it. Space in the backfield beyond Furbank, and Smith with the hitch kick, ball in one hand. Links with his captain, Levis. Cunningham South. Big shot from Dingwall. Liner dribbles it forwards, looking to gather this himself. Off the knee and into the arms of Ram. Really broken at the moment, this game, and Sam Matavesi looking to put a little bit of structure on it. Breaking free, needs some support. It arrives in the form of Lockett, who is bundled. Harlequins racing back into their defensive positions. Here's Iogan again.
Marler's out there.
Huge numbers. Freeman smashed in the tackle. They've got it away. Augustus heads back in field, brushing off the defenders. Back comes Herbst to make a really important tackle, and there's a yellow card coming.
It's a second one as well.
Oh, Esterhuizen and Furbank involved. James Ram.
I thought Carl Dixon went for his pocket then and pulled his hand away.
Well, he saw it was Danny Kerr. The question is he going to follow up?
All I have is a push by 9 at the moment. That's all I have. That's all I have. That's all. Listen.
Kerr on a yellow, but remember, so any additional yellow will be red.
John, all I have at the moment is a push by 9 with a potential person coming in to clear and take the ball. Yes. After that, I haven't seen what's happened. You got anything else?
No.
Anything to add? No, so it's just everything happens. Just wait for defence. All I have is 9 pushing a player in and around the breakdown, which potentially stops him clearing, and then it all jumps up. So at the moment, penalty to Saints. That's all I have. Okay.
Oh. That is a tight call.
Listen, I'll be honest. All I've seen is 9 push. It's a penalty to you. So that's all I've seen at the moment. Yeah, we've got a bit of time.
Danny Kerr breathes again.
Yeah,
so if you've got anything else to add apart from that, we've got a player down. So I've got the push.
Oh, he's played the 9.
He's played the 9.
I'm not sure if Alex has the ball there.
Well, he had the ball when he knocked it on, and he didn't get awarded that try.
So clear push. And then Alex picks the ball up and tackles him. So it's all right, he's picked the ball up. Alex, all we need to
we can't play the 9 whether he does or doesn't have the ball. He's played him. Very, very lucky boy.
So did you get it, Jack? Has Alex Mitchell got the ball there?
We'll just run it for you again, 1 second.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Andrew Jackson still involved, our TMO here. This is...
it's all whether whether 9 has the ball. That's the other side.
Not necessarily a done deal yet.
So
we need a slow-mo of Alex Mitchell's hands.
9 has come through from an onside position, which he has, then there's no foul play, nothing illegal. Do we agree with that? If 9 has picked the ball up?
Yeah, I've got nothing clear.
Perfect, happy days. So we're just going to stay with the original push by 9. Oof. That's it.
Well, there will be Northampton fans very intrigued by that decision, to say the least, you suspect.
So the
Danny Kerr
for 9 pushing a player.
Seemingly off his feet, killing the ball.
Your 9 pushed their player.
But he goes to play the 9 as he goes to play the ball. Whether he has possession or not, you're not allowed to play the 9.
Until he's lifted it.
That's the way it is. Alex has picked the ball up so you can dive to tackle the man.
If he's picked the ball...
So he's not diving over a ruck. So if you didn't have the ball, different situation, but you have the ball. Maybe.
But has Danny Kerr come through there and maintained control of his body weight, stayed on his feet? He's dived over the top. It's a flat-out dive over the top. I think if that happened 10 minutes ago with anyone else in the middle, I don't see how you're allowed to just dive over the top like that.
Well, it's potentially a fortunate escape. There we go. He knows he's got away with it.
Yeah, but you know, this is... He knows, but you put yourself in the position of the Northampton Saints. Come on.
Kerr off, replaced by Will Porter. And the match goes on. Quins still with Tyrone Green in the bin and having to defend their try line here. What a gather that was from Courtney Laws. The drive is on. And the try line is beckoning. They've given up the penalty. Cunningham South trying to drag this rolling maul down. And Mitchell has options left and right. Dingwall. On they go to Litchfield. Well, that feels like justice in some respects. Northampton 1 point behind now. Conversion to come.
Looks good, Cos.
And the game still hanging in the balance.
I think you're probably right. We don't want to get too emotional about it, but it does feel a little bit like justice was served there, to be frank, and to be neutral about it. Nicely worked. Marcus Smith, really, if he's not absolutely making a clattering contact with Litchfield there, he's got no chance, has he?
If you're going arms in the tackle, you're always going to soak, you're always going to drag the player with you, and you can't do that on your defensive line. He's got to go low for a Sam Warburton-esque chop. That's the only way you're going to stop a man of Litchfield's size.
He's a big boy, isn't he?
He's a big unit. He's a big unit. I like the look of this guy, and it's understandable. He can play in multiple positions, but he's done a good job scoring that try, and that's an important one. Advantage, Northampton Saints.
Just 22 years old, no Berger Odendahl at the moment. Hutchinson unavailable as well, so they've had to mix and match a little bit in the centres, trying to preserve Fraser Dingwall a little bit as well. So critical to their midfield with such a very big few weeks coming up. But the leaders, the Premiership leaders, are leading, having been 26 points to 13 down. Two very Harlequins. This is Dombrandt.
That was lovely from Dombrandt. That was a foot in touch.
Your foot's on the line, you pass the ball.
That's lovely from Lewis Liner. Dombrandt has done a phenomenal job there. And his winger.
I was just thinking, don't ruin it by putting your foot in touch. Because what Dombrandt did was absolutely slick, wasn't it? Yeah, Saints score a lot of tries, generally, in the last 20 minutes of games.
Over 15.
Robbie Smith. Sorry, Flats. Robbie Smith, the new man at hooker for Northampton, as they work it through the midfield, and Litchfield is marching beyond the gain line. Good, strong counter-rucking from Quins. Saints off their feet. Penalty.
Will Evans, so much gets talked about his jackling at the breakdown. But have a look at this. Litchfield, I think it is, steaming through. What a cover tackle, exactly where he needs to be. Straight on his feet, causing carnage. Slowing the ball down, holding it up so Northampton can pile through. So can his mates. That is exceptional open side play.
There's a little somersault on the ground. Back onto his feet, counter-ruck beyond the ball, and that gave his team the encouragement they needed to get in behind them and follow his counter-rucking actions.
Do you know, for years we watched Luke Wallace play 7 for Harlequins, and he was almost elastically gymnastic on the floor, got in amazing positions off the deck so quickly. Will Evans is now taking the mantle on. That was brilliant.
He's been exceptional this season. The most turnovers in the league, the most tackles in the league. He's played almost every game in the league. And it's a rare day when they can do without him. Murley comes off. Oscar Beard is on. And Harlequins have their tails up again inside the opposition 22. 1 point in it. Yet another helter-skelter match involving Billy Millard's men. Porter. Just a little pop, and Evans this time being manhandled by Angus Scott-Young, who's come on for Northampton. Herbst banged over by Dingwall. Levis. Harlequins needing to apply all the pressure they possibly can right here, right now. Porter whips it away. Smith to the line. Green, liner! Shut down brilliantly. Saints holding firm for now. Most phases we've seen in the match to this point from either side. Dombrandt sets it up, and they drive at close range again. Porter to Esterhazen. Litchfield with the tackle, the ball available again. Driven on by Jack Walker. Smith. Green. Extraordinary defensive work from Northampton. Levis out of the back door and in! Will Porter! A special offload! And the number 9 turns Twickenham Harlequins colours once again.
Well, a ton of phases from Harlequins, tons of options. Tyrone Green causing a nuisance on the left flank, then the right. Lewis Liner too. What a tackle from Furbank this was. What a tackle. He had help, but what a shot. Stefan Levis. That is a lovely touch for a massive man. Will Porter super sharp, as we've come to expect these days. Whenever he's on the field, great awareness from the Quins skipper.
Yeah, 16 phases from Quins, absolutely no panic. It mightn't have been perfect, not every ball went to hand, but the recycling was where it needed to be. Enough men in the ruck, holding on to possession, and then eventually Northampton Saints ran out of numbers down that blind side.
Try number 5. Harlequins back in front. Smith from the touchline, just wide. 11.5 minutes to play. So much resting on this, particularly for Quins. Northampton, as we know, have a little bit of a buffer at the top of the league. A little bit of breathing room. Not so Quins. So they need special touches like this.
We didn't think this would be a boring one, did we?
Well, I said before the game, the last 10 meetings in the Premiership, they've averaged a total of 61 points in those meetings, and we're pretty much at that mark now, with still plenty of time on the clock. Marler just drops to the ground. Sam Riley is on at hooker for Quins now. Porter via a hand, I think. And touches found. Look at that avalanche of points. 27 tries in their last 6 games.
We know what they're capable of doing going forwards. The concern has always been, are they going to concede more than they've scored? Well, they're holding out for now, but there's definitely more scores in this game.
Mitchell still buzzing.
Use it, please.
Laws just having a little look. This is Tarek Hafar. Not seen too much of him since he'd moved from London Irish, but very highly rated. Last week his first appearance in 3 months. Smith to Litchfield. Good line speed from Andre Esterhazen. Lockett. Oh, the intercept from Dombrandt. Looking for support. There it is. Riley. He's got Liner on the outside. Riley being chased down by Freeman. And just not quite clinging on to possession. Mitchell gives it a good thump. Liner couldn't quite find the man. Here's Green. Stand by. Smith. And on. Beard. Absolutely exhausting passages of play. Green almost toying with the defence. Hammond carries it now. Another one off the bench with fresher legs. It's gone in behind Tyrone Green. Trying to free those arms up. Porter, Riley, Liner, Marler. Courtney Lawes doing everything in his powers to slow up possession. At worst.
Very lucky.
A fair degree of frustration on the part of the Quins attackers there as Riley muscles his way up towards that 22. And Northampton get the penalty decision.
Whoever shouted to the good Lord above during that rut, no names, think it might have been Joe Marler, familiar voice. Not quite sure how Courtney Lawes wasn't penalised there, but how about that again from Dombrandt? He has been class today.
That offload as well.
Wow.
Whatever about the steal, but then look at this from Tommy Freeman. Swats down, the fend off, and Lewis Liner tries to get the ball over the top, but the hustle defence is where it needs to be from Northampton Saints. They're not giving this up easily, and right back in the point now. Courtney Lawes, to your point, Flats, very lucky not to give away a penalty. Very long body, wasn't keeping all of his body weight through his feet. Referee Carl Dixon gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Well, he wants to nick it, of course he does. He's out the way now, so with one hand, he's just won with one hand. I suppose he's trying to steal it, but he's nowhere near getting that. That really is a slow down job. Knees on the backs of players. He's lucky not to be pinged there, I think. He might argue that. He might argue that.
Well, still on his feet. I mean, there was a question mark as to whether the knee was resting on one of the opposition players, but a big change happening here with 7.5 minutes remaining. Marcus Smith is coming off the field for Quins. And Riley gathers it at the tail from the line out. Marler. Will Trunham on the pitch, so too Jared Evans. There he is, the Welshman who's replaced Smith at 10. Evans sends it on up the middle. Marler, the dummy line. Jared Evans throws the dummy through the hole. Lovely bit of work. He's got options left. He's got options right. And Will Porter again. As Harlequins cling on to their playoff hopes. Minutes remaining. Jared Evans, the creator. Will Porter, the scorer.
Yeah, this one all began with Northampton Saints possession. A line out in around the halfway line. Overthrow. And Quins say thank you very much. Keep the possession, put the face plate together beautifully. Look at that for a little show and go from Evans. Looks out left, looks right to his replacement scrum half. You fancy either winger or scrum half would have scored the try, but beautiful, manipulating the defence and then timing of the pass. And is that the one that seals the victory? 2 scores ahead, but all initially began with a bad line-out option for Northampton Saints. Crucial moments, need cool heads, and they just lost it at that moment.
A brace against Bordeaux. The starter that day, of course, Will Porter with Danny Kerr just resting a troublesome knee, but a brace off the bench here today to put Quins in pole position with 5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, the Saints' defence was stretched, wasn't it? I think it was John Yabunga off the bench inside Finn Smith. If he's not shouting for Finn Smith to go, as Phil Dowson will know, Finn Smith's got to stay, take Evans, but geez, a lot of decisions to make.
11 points the difference, and all Harlequins fans will know their team are well capable of letting this slip from here, even with a handful of minutes remaining. It will go right to the end, you feel. Porter spent so long out. And again, a bit like Luke Northmore, has just come back into the side, fully fit and playing some special rugby. To the short side they go through Litchfield. Gathered by Scott Young, here's Mitchell. Alex Mitchell, one man to beat, and the intercept from Porter.
Keep coming!
It's as mad as you'd expect it. Still they pour forwards, Northampton. Litchfield is within a metre of the try line. Hafar, driven to the ground.
They've got to move
Big
it.
tackle from Marler. Back to the short side they come.
Now the other way.
Quins needing to commit numbers. Courtney Laws scores! A bonus point for Northampton, thanks to the old stager.
Wow, this is frenetic, to say the least. Brilliant from Northampton Saints. Watch this from Will Porter. Comes off the bench, make a difference. Wow, chases back, and then instead of getting it out, has a half block down kick. All leads to a few phases, and Courtney Laws, does he get it to the line or not?
I think he does. He's hit hard by Ernie Herbst. Herbst has been putting it about big time today. I think he gets it on the line. It's not on the line there, but I think it was. What a game. Absolute madness. The Prem's just carnage at the moment. It's amazing.
Wide from Smith, but the deficit just 6. And Courtney Laws doing just about enough.
Yeah, it's all good call.
I mean, he's held around the neck and the jaw at that point. So Tyrone Green's tackled him by his teeth at that point, by his gum shield. So I think we'll give him that one.
Well, it's still within Northampton's grasp. A converted score would win it. And there are still a couple of important minutes for Harlequins to navigate. This is standard fare for Quins supporters. They know the drill. They've signed up to the roller coaster. It's like this pretty much every single week. That's gone forwards from Scott Young, crucially. Beard for Quins. Will Tranholm wasn't supposed to be taking part today. Tom Lauday failed to get through the warm-up. Tranholm onto the bench as a consequence. Porter to Hammond. Green to Liner. Lewis Liner. Shades of the 21 final. To within 2 metres of the try line. This to finish the job. Saints on red alert. Harlequins with a penalty advantage. Here's Marler. Porter fires it out. Jared Evans loses his feet.
That ceiling, we're back over here.
And back we go for the Harlequins penalty. Fate in their own hands now.
Well, they've got big games next week, so you can see why the lads are taking it easy. Goodness me. Lewis Liner, how nice was that? Will Porter looks so sharp since he's come on.
Well, this is big for Northampton Saints. They're currently on a couple of points. And that is the decision. They can take one of those bonus points away from the league leaders. But look at this again from Lewis Liner. Beautiful skill, ball to foot very quick. He gets a favourable bounce, but Tommy Freeman's too much gas to get back.
Okay.
Again.
It's going to take the whole time.
And it was James is the one that gets penalised. If it was him, it's a harsh one. Not too many hands on the ground beyond the ball. This is a big kick.
So yeah, you're right. They've got two losing bonuses as it stands. Northampton, having scored 4 tries, they're within 7 points. Jared Evans can take one of those away, and most importantly, bank all 5 for Harlequins with this final play as the clock ticks down. Essential for Quins in their quest for a top 4 place. They've beaten the Premiership leaders. They've done it in style. They've done it by every single fan in this ground biting their nails to the quick. Standard fare. Full time in the big summer kickoff. Harlequins 41, still in the hunt. Northampton 32.